Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Kev, or Kevin, whatever you want to call me. My dog has decided to start eating beneath me, right as I'm talking. We'll be right back. And we're back because my dog has decided he's done eating, but this may continue at any moment. It won't matter for you. Anyway, welcome back to my channel where this week I've decided I need to get back to working on the reading nook. That's kind of a book nook that can kind of go on a bookshelf, but it's a reading nook. It's kind of meta, I guess. It's a reading nook that's a book nook. Anyway, it made sense in my mind. And it's time I start working on this again because I want to finish it. I want to put it up on the shelf. I think it'll look nice. So I'm not gonna... He's gotta be joking. He's gotta be joking with me. He's like, I can hear you talking, so I'm gonna start eating right now. Let's go ahead and just turn the camera and we'll start working on this so you don't have to hear my dog chew anymore. And in case I forgot to mention, I'm a miniaturist living in New England who likes to make miniatures about all kinds of stuff. And a lot of plans coming up, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Wink, wink. Okay, let's go. Let's go make something.
I really like big, bold wallpaper, and if I had the choice, I would put it in my house, but I can't put it in my house, so I put it in this miniature. I printed it out at 2 different sizes to see which one would work, and the one on the right is more like Barbie scale, so it did not go in this one, but the one on the left was perfect size. After I decided on the right size that I wanted to use, I used my paper cutter to cut these out and then make sure that they were the perfect size for the miniature to fit on each wall. I didn't need to cover the whole wall because I decided I wanted to do wainscoting, so it was like a halfway up the wall wainscoting, halfway up the wall would be wallpaper. So half wainscoting, half wallpaper. At this point, I thought I was going to paint all the walls this white color, and then I realized that I probably, if I was going to do that, I should probably take off the black paper, but I decided that I was just going to cover everything anyway, so I didn't need to do either of these steps. I didn't need to take off the paper. I didn't need to paint it. And this is foreshadowing because disaster strikes later in the video. It has been a while since I picked up this project because I was in the middle of a move, and now I can't really decide what color to paint this. I went on to TikTok and I asked some people what they thought, and of course everyone said green, but my issue with green is that I've already done so many green things on this channel. But I will say I do really like green, so I think I might just go ahead with green. I feel a little bad about that because again, I feel like I've done a lot, so it doesn't feel very different. However, we did get this for like a swatch in our house and we didn't really like how it looked, so I do have this green paint and it doesn't exactly match this color. It's like it's a little different, but I think I'll try this one, although I do like the dark green better, so maybe I'll just stick with the dark green. I don't know. Gonna give me a second to decide. For you, it'll be like literally a second, and then you'll just watch me paint whatever color I decided, because unfortunately this is not live and you can't help me decide. Wish you could. Okay, I lied, I'm back already. Because on the other green paint, I just like this darker green better. It doesn't look that different, to be honest, in here, but it is different. I promise you, I'm not lying to you. But I think what I might actually do is paint a tiny little bit of the, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I'm gonna paint a tiny little bit of the shelf, just maybe like a little strip on each side in different colors, see which one I like better, because I don't know if I'm gonna know until I try it out. So let's go ahead and take this bookcase out of here, even though it's a nightmare to take out, and we're gonna attempt to start painting this. I mean, we're not gonna attempt, I'm literally going to start painting this. To be really honest, I don't know if you're supposed to use house paint on miniatures or like if it's technically okay to. I do occasionally, especially because I am painting my house. We just moved, and if I have like leftover sample pots, why not, you know? I don't think it's gonna make my miniatures deteriorate, but if anybody out there knows anything about paint and is like way smarter than me, let me know in my comments. Is this gonna ruin everything or is it like totally fine? I do seal it, if that helps. Here is a better idea of what the colors look like. To be honest, this does dry darker, and the more layers you put on, it does get darker. But you see where it's like, it's more of like a yellow green, and I just don't know if I'm feeling that. And again, I could have just avoided this by doing any other color besides green, but I didn't, and now we're here, so we have to work with what we've got. I mean, I guess I still have plenty of time to like change what color I'm doing, but I'm not gonna. I've committed to the green. It doesn't matter that I'm always doing green, but maybe in the future I'll change up colors. I guess green's my favorite color. Well, I don't know. But going back, this is more like a, I mean, they're both cool greens, I think. I'm learning color theory. I'm not great at it, so I think I know what I'm talking about, but I may not. They're both kind of cool, but like this one has like a yellow undertone to it, which I don't like, and this one kind of has like a grayish undertone. I don't know. I've used this one though before, and I would show you what it looked like if you're new here, but the bookcase I painted with this color, I don't know where it's at because I haven't fully unpacked my studio yet. I think we're just gonna go with this one. This one just looks better, you know? It just looks better. This to me looks too lime green, even though it's not. It's called Sleepy Hamlet, and it kind of reminds me of being a kid, because I was a kid in the early 2000s, and it reminds me of like when like that lime green pink was popular, and I was not a fan of that then. I'm not really a fan of this color now, so pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this green. And like the more layers you put on, it just looks better. Like look at that. Look at that. That's so much, yeah, okay. I've convinced myself. We're going with this one. I used to have a darker green too, but I don't know what happened to it. But I think I like this one. Hey, look at that. It is so much better. It'll look better in the space. Although, to be honest, which one looks better with this? Because this is the wallpaper I'm using. Oh my gosh, maybe neither. Crap. You know what? I'm just gonna commit. You can't really tell on camera, but this does not really match either color. I'm gonna commit though, and I'm gonna go with this one because I can't keep. If I'm the kind of person where like I have decision paralysis, and if I keep thinking about this forever, I honestly will just never finish it and just keep debating forever with myself on what color to go with. So I'm just committing. I'm committing to this color. Oh my gosh. Yeah, going with that color. It looks so much better. Okay, let's get painting. This is not really necessarily the best view of me, but I'm still learning how to do like multiple views in a video, and I just wanted to talk for a second because I've been gone for a while and I'm painting right here, and I was gone for a while. Should I hold it up for the class to see? I was gone for a while because I was moving, and I'm finally in a new house, a new studio. If you haven't watched my last video, you should go watch it. But the quick TLDR of that is that the past year we were living with a family member while trying to figure some stuff out, like living situation wise, and so we finally bought a house, and now we're in a new one, new studio. It is similar, it's very similar setup to my last studio. It's a little bit smaller, but like it's in the same exact position as the previous house, and we're getting some green in. It's the same exact like setup, the hallway with the bedrooms, and so I just picked the same one as before. So I guess you don't have to watch the other video because I know that like setting up an office may not be everybody's, they might find it fun. So I just thought that I would give you a quick update if you did not watch that video on what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and paint this. This is going to take a while because I want to do thin coats because it's made out of mat board. I don't want it to warp, and I'm known to try and do things too quickly and have them warp. And I'm trying to get better at this, so I can't keep doing that. I'm going to go ahead and just keep doing some like really thin coats on this and hope that it does not warp at all. It is pretty glued down pretty heavily because I'm also an over gluer, so I think that will be fine on the warping, but you never know, so I'm just a little nervous. I have to do everything in here. I have to do these, and then the inside bits. Oh, I forgot I was gonna do wood in the back of this. It's been so long since I worked on this because the whole moving thing, it's been a couple months, that I forgot that on the back wall of this, I was going to do popsicle sticks that I was gonna stain. I should probably do that. I should probably do that, huh? While I do like making miniatures from scratch, I can't help but think that I could have put this together incredibly fast had I had like a laser cutting machine, but I do not have money for one of those. I'm hoping, I'm manifesting that maybe one day one will come into my life, but I don't have money for that. So I just realized that some of my miniatures, something like this where it's like kind of like boxy, I could have very quickly put this together. But despite the point, if you want to make something like this, it's actually pretty simple. It's just a lot of squares being glued together, and yeah, that's really all it is. Just a lot of rectangles being glued in certain ways to make this shelf. It was pretty simple. I did draw it up in my sketchbook first, as I do all my bigger miniatures, but to be honest, it really wasn't needed because it was just a bunch of squares. Anybody can make one of these for their dollhouse or their room boxes or whatever. So if you like this kind of shelf, don't be intimidated. It looks like a lot because of all the squares, but it's really, really simple to actually make. You can make it with cardboard, with paper, mat board. Well, paper, maybe you could do cardstock if you were doing it in 24th scale, but you can do this in a lot of different materials, and it comes together pretty easily. So don't be afraid to try it out. This is where we're at, and I'm now realizing that like if I had a, what's it called? What is that called? Air spray, not aerosol, not spray paint, but like whoever's watching this is probably just banging their head against the table because they know what it's called. Airbrush? Does that sound right? It sounds wrong. Anyway, I wish I had one of those because this would have been much faster. I really thought this wasn't going to take that long, and we're now going on like an hour, and I'm only done with the first coat for a majority of it. I did get a couple coats here and a couple coats on like this face plate, but that's it. And I know I said I was going to do the back part, but I realized that whenever I stain stuff, I often have an issue with not doing what's behind the stained object, and then like for instance floors, I don't do the base floor that the popsicle sticks go on top of, and you can often see the white through it, and you can see like it glares through because it's so white. So I needed to paint this at least a couple coats to be darker, so that way if you can see through the stained pieces, you're not seeing white. That's my advice. If you're going to do stained stuff, still paint what's below the stain because it will often show through, at least for me, like especially white stuff. Like white will show through any stained floor I do, no matter what. Paint it something, usually brown if you're gonna do like a stained floor, or black, so it at least looks like a crevice or something. But I need to do this, I need to do some more layers of paint because inside here, they need a lot more paint. Got a lot more painting to do. It's gonna take a lot longer. I kind of wish I had an airbrush, which still doesn't sound like a real word to me. I don't know. To be really honest, I recorded a really long clip here of me painting, but not much changes, not much for you to look at. Let's move along to the next day. Okay, it's the next day, and this is looking pretty good. I think that I still need a couple spots, especially if you look along this. If you look along here,
there is some glue spots that I forgot to take care of. And the thing is with glue is that you can't really paint over it very well. I knew that about wood glue. No, not wood glue. There's something else. What was it? I don't remember if it's like glue. I don't know. Now I'm blanking. It's been a long day. But there's a couple of spots where I'm gonna have to do like another layer of just to like cover up some of this. And then I want to dry brush it. And everyone knows that dry brushing is my worst nemesis. If you've been watching this channel for any other video, basically, you'll know that I don't do well with dry brushing. I just don't. I don't understand it. I understand it. I can't do it. It's just not for me. Next, I need to do the base coat again, just in the spots that need it. Then I need to do dry brushing, the handles down here, the wood accent wall, and the cushion that's gonna go here. Piece of cake. Then also eventually books and other accessories that will go on these shelves. I have some stuff that I got, I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but I have some stuff that I was sent for like an exchange last year that I think will look really good in the scene. I'm gonna do that. And then I also have this wallpaper that will go on the sides. And then the thing I'm struggling with is I wanna do paneling on the side walls because I've learned a lot of different techniques and I want to try and do paneling again like I did for my Kermit video, linked above if you want to go watch that. I think I want to do paneling again, but I'm worried that I was going to paint them green to get it to all blend in together. Like all of it was going to blend into one big thing. But now I'm wondering if I should do the panels as wood and just stain them. The issue with that is I don't have any really thin wood for the back part. I only have the trim part. That makes sense. So I don't know if I can do that. This clip's going on a little long. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the next level. It's been a long day, okay? I'm gonna start on the next layer of green. Let's get to it. Oh, I'm still recording.
You will never guess what I did here. I'll give you $10,000 if you do. I recorded another really long clip of me painting that really not much changes. I was just covering up some bald spots, as I call them. Just spots where they needed a little bit of a touch-up, where you could see the mat board underneath.
When it comes to this back wood accent wall, I wanted to do these stir sticks because I thought like they would look the best, having a lot of rows back here. But what I'm learning is that stir sticks very often do not come straight. Some of these are way more noticeable than others, but like, look at that. Can you see that? So then I thought maybe these, but these are too big. I can only fit 2 in here. And so I have to now decide between like regular popsicle sticks or tongue depressor size. And who knew that like these sticks could come in so many different sizes. But I really wanted to do these. I thought those would look the best. And now I'm a little disappointed, but I think maybe popsicle sticks is the best bet because from my experience, they also tend to be the straightest up and down. You see how these are just kind of like going in like butter? Yeah, these don't. These don't at all. They're like overlapping and they're sticking out all strange. I'm a little disappointed these aren't gonna reach the whole top. So what I'm thinking about doing is doing like maybe like a little accent piece on the beginning and the top and the bottom, or just doing like one in the middle right here. So I could have like sticks on each side of this just to negate the roundedness of them. Let's see what design I decide to go with. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm along for the ride like you guys are. Here is the pattern I was thinking of doing and then doing more popsicle sticks up top. However, the size of this, I had to do a skinny one over here and I am not liking how this is looking. This, without this thing, isn't so bad, but then I'll have a really visible line here. What I've decided to do is I'm going to do this way because the popsicle sticks will stretch it. And then I was thinking, what if I alternated the sizes like this up it, just to give it a little bit of interest on the wood wall. So this is what we're gonna do instead. A lot more cutting. My hand already hurts. I will say that these tongue depressors, they don't cut very well with the multi-tool cutter thing that I have. This thing, which I need to replace the blade on. But these cut. The stir sticks cut. These do not cut very well. I have to like kind of cut and then like crack it. Careful if you're doing this because I have carpal tunnel and my hand already hurts. So I do not recommend. I can't imagine. I've used these for something. I don't remember what, but I imagine that it also hurt my hand. You know, this says Walmart. I'm like 99% sure that I bought this at Michael's, so it's very, very confusing. Hello Hobby, I guess that's Walmart. I do not remember the last time I bought craft supplies at Walmart, so that is very surprising. Anyway, let's get back to creating, or designing, I guess. Design wall. Yay, more cutting. Wow, it's a disappointing sound. Here's what it's looking like. And I do like this a lot better, the like different sizes alternating. However, I am really picky with my miniatures. In fact, if somebody else was doing this, I would not notice this. However, I can see that I cut some of these slightly too short. And I just feel like that's gonna drive me insane over time, the longer I look at it. So I don't really know what to do about that, except for, I guess,
to cut some more, which I was hoping not to do because my wrist hurts. Like, look at that. That's bad. You can see that gap right there. Do you see that? That one and this one are pretty bad. I wonder if it'd be less noticeable once it's stained, but until then, I'm gonna have to, I don't know. I'm gonna cut out some extras just in case. Maybe I'll try staining it and then putting it in and see what it looks like. These aren't glued in yet, so maybe I'll just see what it looks like, because that is going to drive me nuts. Again, anybody else's miniature, anybody else was doing this, I would not notice this. So I don't want people to be so hard on themselves. I am just hard on myself. Like, that looks insane to me. That is so noticeable. And like when it's standing up, it's not any better. Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna cut out a bunch and start staining them, I guess. Here's what we got going on. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous that this is not going to look good when it's stained, because I only have these two colors, or this color that is the color of the floor. And I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I feel like it's gonna be too shiny. What I'm now thinking is that my original like inspiration picture had the background be, the wood be green as well. I don't know, maybe I'll just paint them green. Like they will definitely blend in, but that might be the move here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut a piece of paper out, glue these to it, stain them, and if I hate it, I'll paint over, because I can paint over stain, you can't stain over paint. Going to figure this out. I'm a little nervous. This is taking a turn I wasn't expecting. While I start on this next step, I just want to talk a little bit about like carpal tunnel. If you are a miniaturist, you might have it, you might know about it, you definitely know about your hand cramping. My hand cramps quite often. I have a job where I work on the computer a lot. My hands tend to get tired and they cramp, and something somebody suggested on TikTok was actually getting like a table saw, like a miniature table saw, and it looks like a really good idea. And it looks like it could really help for things like this with like the popsicle sticks when you're cutting a lot of them, or like when I do a floor and I have to cut a lot of them. However, I don't know if I trust myself to have one. I'm quite clumsy. You'll be surprised to learn. I am quite clumsy. I get hurt quite a bit, and I'm nervous that I would maybe like cut off a finger. That's like a huge fear of mine, because I don't trust myself, but I do need to figure something out, because the miter shears are really hurting my hands. The cramping is getting quite bad when I have to cut a lot of popsicle sticks. It's possible that maybe the blade just needs to be replaced, but to be honest, I didn't get the straightest cuts when working on this project. Some of them were shorter, even though I measured out every single one. I don't know if that would be different though with a table saw, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if that's a solution or not, but if anybody out there has a miniature table saw, tell me your experiences in the comments. Do you like them? Because it sounds like maybe it could be good. Maybe if there's like a safety feature where I won't accidentally cut off a finger. But if you have one and you have experience, let me know. Time for another update. I know I'm just now gluing this in here and putting it in here, but I already decided I don't like how it looks. And so I am just going to take this out, all that time I spent. Okay, and I'm just gonna glue the pieces in there and paint them green. Kind of ruining the inside, and I just don't think I'm gonna like the idea of the super contrast wood stain. Instead, I wanna go for like a more of a color drench type situation. Like just have everything be one color. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna glue these in, and I gotta get the paper off this now. I'm gonna glue these in, and I am going to, okay, paint this. Moving on. Overcoming obstacles. You know, sometimes you try stuff, you don't like it. You might say, well, Kevin, you didn't even try it. I got far enough in the process to know I wasn't gonna like it. We're moving on, moving up, and we're gluing sticks down. This isn't the point where the project kind of started to go south for me. It happens soon. Again, spoiler alert, foreshadowing. The project does start to go a little south. This is not it, but I feel like at this point I did start to have a gut feeling about this project that I wasn't loving it anymore, and I wanted to at least get through this portion of what I was doing just so I can come to a place where you could pause. But something I'm going to talk about at the end in the outro is putting a project to the side when you are feeling like burnt out on it or not super in love with it anymore. So I won't go too much into detail, but I started getting an inkling here that this project was not sparking joy for me anymore. This is mostly done. I went to go spray seal it. I've never sealed any of my miniatures before, by the way. This is something I need to start doing. I learned that from Panda Miniatures on TikTok. If you don't watch Panda Miniatures, you should. Anyway, I need to seal this in so it doesn't get more damage than it already does from me like scratching it and stuff. I forgot I need to dry brush it first, unfortunately, even though I hate dry brushing with a passion, and it's okay because dry brushing hates me too. However, I was going to just put white in this, and my partner, who's an artist, like an actual artist, said, no, you should do a drop of brown if you want to dry brush in the color that you're working on. Just give it a little bit of dimension. That's what we're doing. Don't judge me for my palettes, okay? If you're new here, you never seen my palettes before, they're a mess, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna, it's fine. It works, you know? Clean it eventually. I'm gonna try this, and then I'm gonna try and dry brush, but again, I hate dry brushing. I am bad at it. Okay, that's just straight up brown. No, it's a darker green now, eventually. I hate dry brushing.
I'm not good at it. It never looks good. Let's see how this goes. But also, I need to make like a cushion right here after I'm done dry brushing and sealing this in, and the handles, and then the stuff can start going on the shelves. For now, let's dry brush. I need to get a brush. I'm a little nervous. Let's do this.
Another clip of me painting something green, revolutionary. Not gonna show you that, but this one does have a twist at the end.
Immediately no. Immediately no. You know how I said the thing about how sometimes you start to do something like I did with the back and I realized I didn't like it? Immediately no. I don't like this dry brushing at all. I've decided that this is supposed to be like a nicer, like more moody, eclectic room, maximalist kind of situation. And I don't think that it would have weathering on it. I think that the person taking care of this room would probably take really good care of this room. But because I think the person would really take care of it, I don't think that it would be worn down at all. I'm gonna go over that dry brushing because I do not like it. I hate it, in fact, and it looks like somebody threw mud at this. I just don't think this needs dry brushing. I could be wrong. I know that often dry brushing adds to stuff, but in this case, I disagree. I'm just going to have it be the solid color, and then we're gonna move on with our lives and install it to where it needs to be installed. Yep. Tell me if you agree with me. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. Like, doesn't this seem like the kind of, this brush sucks. I have so many cheap brushes, but I have to buy cheap brushes because I don't know how to take care of the things I own. Tell me in the comments, am I wrong here? Or do you agree with me that like the person that would have this kind of room where it's kind of like a more maximalist, darky, moody kind of room, it would not be weathered, you know? I just don't think it would be weathered. No dry brushing. I guess dry brushing and weathered aren't necessarily the same thing, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking up my butt right now. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just hated the way that looked. I hated it with a fiery passion. Wait for this to dry, and then we're gonna seal it in, and we're gonna install it into the room finally. I know it's been like 30 years since I started this project, it feels like, but really it's only been like 3 days. To be honest though, like this is not much for 3 days. So really I should be getting stuff done. I need to stop talking. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. We're now getting to that portion of this project where this is, it's gonna be hard to show you what I'm doing. So maybe I'll switch over to camera 2, which is just my phone, so you can get an idea of what I'm doing and get an actual good view, because I'm gonna start putting in the wallpaper now. This is dry and sealed. I sprayed it with varnish, some kind of painting varnish. I don't know if it was actually good or not. I don't know if it's a good, it's a little shiny, a little stipply looking. I don't know if that was a good one to use or not, but you know, you live and you learn and you work with what you got. Sometimes you don't want to go out and spend money on something if you already have something that might work. I'm all about trying to save as much money as possible, if possible, along the way. Now I'm gonna need to put in these two right here. It's gonna look like this, and then the shelf will go in the back, and then I need to do the wainscoting and the trim. That's where we're at. So I probably need to switch over to camera 2 though, so that way you can get an idea of what you're looking at. Something that I'm not really sure what to do actually is here, how I'm gonna get this to lay flat, because I tried flattening this overnight under something heavy, and it's still not very flat. So I need to put some glue down and then put something heavy on top of this. Other thing is, I'm really running out of tacky glue because this tacky glue is super globby. I don't know how to describe it. It like turned into a weird consistency. I do have Gorilla Glue, so I guess I could use that, but we'll see. I'm probably gonna have to use Gorilla Glue, which is probably not the best glue for gluing down paper. Maybe I should go watch Bentley House Mini's video on glue to figure out if I can actually use this on paper or not. Let's get started on gluing down the wallpaper. In the end, I don't know if this was the best glue to use, but I do remember Bentley House Miniatures once saying that wood glue keeps its shape, so I made sure to like squeegee off any extra glue so there wouldn't be any lumps in the wallpaper when I was done. It does end up holding, maybe a little too good, which is more foreshadowing for you. I just want to go on record and say this barely fit in there. The measurements were very exact, so I had to push and push and push to get this to go in there, and it barely fit in the end. My original plan was to cut out a piece of mat board, build the wainscoting on here, and then install it like this, which I've done before in my previous current video. The issue I'm having though is that I realized this adds bulk to this, and then any popsicle sticks I use for the actual trim is also going to add more bulk, and I just think that's going to look weird. So now I'm wondering if I should just build the wainscoting directly onto the wall. That's what I'm struggling with now. It's always something. It's always, oh, that's bent. That should not look like that. It's always something, you know. I'm gonna put some trim up there too, so if it looks a little bent, that's fine. But I just feel like you fix one problem and you run into another. I think that I just created about 300 problems for myself, and I don't know how to fix them. But I'm gonna try, because I'm not gonna give up. And I think I might have an idea of how I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. Here's where we're at, and again, this is a bad angle. Let me see if I can move you up a little bit. Still a pretty bad angle. But I got the first layer of the wainscoting done. I still need, it kind of looks like a chalkboard right now, actually. That's weird. I need to paint the middles green and then do the second layer of wainscoting. And then I'm going to do a trim around the edge and trim around the top of the bookshelf and everything. And hopefully it doesn't look too weird. I'll probably try it out before I actually glue it in. I may not do, maybe I won't. We'll see. I might just leave this how it is, perhaps. We'll see. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting this green, because I hate the way that looks. It looks like a chalkboard, and I do not like that. The first layer of paint has been put down. Now I need to do a second layer of paint to touch it up. I know I said I was going to do the cushion and the handles today, but to be really honest, I just need to be done with this project. It's taken a lot out of me, and I'm ready to be done. But for now, let's get painting and just keep painting, yay!
I did, in fact, just keep painting, and it was a lot of green, so I'm gonna spare you again. Just imagine me painting lots of green over and over and over again to get about 3,000 coats on here. See, this is really what I meant when I said that this is driving me up the wall. So this side did not bubble because I took off the black layer, I think, right? No, I didn't. So I don't understand why this side's bubbling really bad. I'm gonna have to rip this out and redo this entire paint section. This project's really starting to get to me, but it's okay, because, you know, we just persevere and we keep working and we just fix our issues. So I need to rip this entire paper piece off and repaint this. It's always something, huh? Always something. At least now I know that this will be, oh no. The whole project's like just falling apart. The whole outside piece is falling off now. At what point do you just abandon a project, you know? I don't want to, but what is happening here? You know? What is this? So I need a second to fix this. What I'm having to do to actually fix this is to peel off a lot of this wall, which is making me very nervous. But this paper I cannot get off unless I take this off. This is honestly a huge nightmare, but I don't know how else to fix it without taking this wall partially off to get the paper off. Oh man, I really thought this project was gonna not have this kind of issues, but here we are. I really glued this on. Oh man. So maybe we're not doing that anymore. Let me see if I get the paper off. Ripping it off in here. You can't really tell what I'm doing, but oh no. Oh no, I forgot. Oh no. Okay, so I can't do that because the paper is attached to the popsicle sticks. There's a black paper on the foam cord that I should have taken off. I did not think that this would come back to bite me in the butt. How it is. So I actually need to do some brainstorming on how to fix this. Maybe I'll use an X-Acto knife or something to carve stuff out. But right now I am stumped. We'll be back. Really did the best I can over here. There's still some paper in here. I know it's hard to see, but up close you can really see this paper. I tried as hard as I could. I don't really know what else to do at this point, so I'm gouging into this. You're gonna see this if I do too much, so I'm just going to paint it and call it done. I need to re-glue this, obviously, and then I'm gonna paint it and call it done. I'm kind of losing hope for this project, but it is what it is. I want to at least get this portion done and see how it looks. Maybe I'll have a change of heart, but let's get painting, I guess, for now. Unfortunately, at this point in the project, I did not have a lot of hope that this was gonna turn out okay. I was starting to panic, so I went ahead and just painted it, and then I called it done for this stage of the project. That's that on that, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I have an icky feeling in my stomach. I can't tell if it's because of this project or maybe I'm getting sick. This project took a lot out of me mentally. I wanted to do way more on it before I actually uploaded this video, but I've kind of hit a roadblock with it. I think I may actually put it aside and stop working on it, at least for now. Maybe not permanently, but at least for now. Just because when I was working on this last portion, a lot of stuff started to go wrong with this wall, and then when I was trying to fix it, more stuff was going wrong, and I realized that I actually need to replace like this entire wall, including, which wall is it? It's flipped for me. Including the wallpaper, the wainscoting, it all needs to be replaced, and so I just don't know if I have the mental energy to do that right now. I want to move on to miniatures that I'm enjoying, and to be honest, this is not sparking joy in my life anymore, and Marie Kondo would tell me to get rid of it. I'm not gonna get rid of it, but I think it's gonna go to, I think I'm gonna put it on the shelf for now. I want to work on miniatures that excite me, and the thought of having to fix all this does not excite me, and it makes me just want to give up on it, and instead of giving up on it, I think I'd rather just put a pause on it for now. To give you a little bit more context, you don't think I'm just being over dramatic and a little baby about this, what happened was when I was trying to fix the bubbling, I had to take out the paper, which I didn't think was going to be a big deal. As you can see, there's still some paper in here. I really didn't think it was going to be a big deal to leave it on the foam core. Mistakes were made.
lessons were learned. If you're using this foam core, make sure you take off the black paper that's on it because it just doesn't work very well if you don't. So I was trying to take that off. I started to accidentally make gouges in this. You can't really tell on camera, but like there's a lot of like gouges into it. And the paper, you can actually see that I kind of had to like paint over some of it because I couldn't get it all out because it's glued to the back of the wainscoting because the wainscoting was built onto the wall. So then when I tried to rip out the black paper from behind the wainscoting, this entire wall came detached. And then the wainscoting started to fall apart. And then the wallpaper is on the black paper as well, and that started to come off. Then I realized that I can't fix the gap made on the sides because I made the shelf a little too big for the room. So overall, that's really why I have decided to put this on pause. Because the thing is, I love the floor. I love the idea of this project. I love how it looks, but I just don't have the energy in me to fix it, especially when I have so many other projects I'm excited for that I would rather work on. I'm very, very excited for the next couple projects I have. And I think I would rather, like I said, just put my energy into something I'm excited for because I feel like if I push myself to work on this, I'm gonna burn out, and I don't want to do that. I really enjoyed Bentley House Miniatures channel and that she talks about how she has multiple projects going at once, so that way she can jump around if she feels like she's getting burnt out. And I think I need to take a lesson in that and decide that like if something's just not working for me right now, I need to move on, put this on pause for now, and I'll come back to it because I would rather keep making miniatures and keep making videos for everybody. And if I get burnt out, we're not gonna get that. So putting that one on pause. And my next projects I'm very, 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 very excited about. Having said that, I am trying to upload every single week. It's not gonna always happen because I do have a full-time job that unfortunately is not miniatures and it takes up a lot of my time. And so that's why this video actually didn't come out. It was supposed to last week, and yeah, so I'm trying to upload every week. Sorry if I don't, but I'm really trying to get on that schedule. So if not, at least every other week. Having said that, if you like me or you like miniatures, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye. Oh wait, wrong hand. Bye.